This video will help you learn how to create an assignment in itslearning. To begin with, open the course where you wish to put the assignment in itslearning. In the course tree, click the Add button, and then from the list of items, under the Activity section, click on Assignment. Next, you'll need to put some basic information about the assignment. To begin with, type a title for your assignment. In the text box, this is where you'll put the directions for your assignment. A few things I want to point out here for features that are available to you. You have the normal text editing choices, bold, font, size, things of that sort. The color of your text is over here. Highlighting of text is here. Equation editor for math teachers is here. But you can also insert several things. So let's say, for example, I want to insert a file that I've got for my students on this assignment. I can place the cursor where I want that file. When I click the Insert drop-down, notice there's a choice of file from my web files, or if it's something that's already in your tree in your course, you can link that file there. I'm going to do a file from my web files. Once this loads, I'll just say Upload File. I'll browse to find the file off of my H drive. I'll see that it's been added. I'll hit Save. At this point, from the list of files that I just added, I'll check the one that I want to actually link to my directions, hit the globe, and then I will see that file added to the directions. Another thing that you might want to do in your directions is have your students actually go to a website. So let's say I want them to read an article. So I could type the words, read article. I can then highlight that text and go up here and say I want to make it a link. When I click the link, it asks for the URL, so I'll go to my website, copy the URL for that site, paste, click OK, and now those words have become the link for that website. Additionally, you might want to let your students watch a video for that lesson. You can actually embed the video right here into the directions so that students don't have to go to a different website to watch the video. To do that, I would click the source code button. I'll see a lot of information going on my screen. I'll just make sure that I have my cursor positioned where I want to have the students actually watch my video. I'll go to the video site, so here I'm using YouTube. I'll click on Share underneath that video, click Embed. Underneath that embed code, you'll see a Show More option. If you click there, I would highly suggest that you tell it, that you uncheck where it says Show Suggested Videos, so that way it will not give additional videos at the end that may be inappropriate for your students. I'm going to go up here to this embed code, right click and copy that embed code. Now I'm going to go back to itslearning, and where my cursor is, I'm going to put extra space, and then I'm just going to right click and say paste. So there I've pasted that video within my directions. When I hit the source button again, now we'll actually see where that video will be placed within my directions. If it's wrong, just click and drag it to wherever else you want it in the directions. But it'll be nice because the kids can watch the video right there within the directions rather than leaving the site. Notice additionally, you can put pictures in here. You can record your own audio, or you can record your own video for the students as well. So do whatever you need to communicate what your directions for the assignment is. Under deadline, choose when the students need to complete the activity by. The end of a specific date is nice, because then it'll actually have it due at 11:59. You can choose whether or not you want to allow them to submit after the deadline. It will highlight that submission pink so you know the student submitted it after it was due, but it's nice that you can still get that assignment from the students. Choose whether or not it's mandatory. Set whether it's active. You can set the exact time span as to when it opens and when it closes. If you do this, just make sure the deactivate is a few days after your deadline so students can submit this afterward. If you need to put additional files with this, so let's say you have a rubric or more directions or something that you want the students to have access to, you can upload additional files here. Under Assess and Evaluate, notice there's this choice for using groups. I highly recommend, unless you've done a lot with groups in here, leave it on Do Not Use Groups. If you use groups, you'd actually have to have the students define their groups or enroll in groups. Course groups would actually only allow one student to turn in the homework assignment for everybody in the class, so you probably don't want to use that. So for most of you, just leave that on Do Not Use Groups. I would never have an anonymous submission, but that is an option there. Notice you can do plagiarism control. This needs to be on a text-based document, so it would need to be a Word submission or just where the students type their answers to questions in the text box, but it cannot be a PowerPoint. It will go out and compare the student submission to what is on the internet and what's been previously submitted within itslearning. Under assessment, choose how do you want to grade this. You may not want to grade it, you may want it to be a grade, so then choose score. If you are just doing work habits or standards based, you also have those choices there. I'm going to choose score, and I'm just going to say my maximum score is 100 points. Go ahead and add your learning objectives. So what are the standards that you're going to use for this particular activity? And choose the standard, hit insert, and then hit close. So you'll see the standard tagged to that particular activity. Now some of you may want to use a rubric to grade this assignment. You can just do it by points, but if you want to use a rubric, notice you have this Manage Assessment Criteria choice here. It's going to bring up that particular standard or all the standards that you added to this assignment, and then you can go through, add criteria, give it a name, and then go through, flush out what it means to be each of the different levels: advanced, proficient, basic, below basic. You just type those descriptions in there. You can change the weighting. You can make it worth as much as you want to if you've got multiple different criteria here. And then just keep adding criteria until you've got everything in your rubric here. When you hit close, that rubric will be attached to the assignment. So once you've done with all of your settings, go ahead and hit save. I can hit show assignment. Now this assignment is ready for my students to actually start working on and submitting their assignment. So they would come into the course, they would click on the assignment in the course tree, read my directions, and then once they're ready to actually submit their answer, they're going to click answer. Notice they can actually upload a file. So let's say that I asked them to write an essay or do some kind of project. They can go into another program, make that, upload the file here so it becomes an attachment. Or if I've just asked them for to answer questions, they can just type their answers to those questions right here in the text box. So they can put that all in there and then hit submit. As the students begin submitting their assignments, you will notice at the bottom of their assignment page, all the submissions will start showing up in a table. You'll be able to sort that table by your different periods if you've got your different periods set up. You can also show it by submitted, not submitted, things of that sort. A great feature for everyone to be aware of is the reminders choice. I don't have any participants in my class, but if this is in your real class, you're going to have a reminders button here. And you can click that reminders. It will automatically send an email to all the students in the class reminding them that they need to complete this assignment by the due date. Great way to get all the students in there to complete that. When it's time for you to grade, all you'll need to do is go to this table, hit the show button for the student submission. You'll see anything that they've typed as their answer. You'll have a file link if they've actually attached and uploaded something. You can open that file, read it, or just read through their text answer. If you used a rubric, you'll then be able to click on the different numbers to grade that assignment. You will see what their overall grade is. Notice with the rubric, it actually puts the score in from the numbers on the rubric. If you're not using a rubric, you'll just have a box there that you can type your score in. You can then do any feedback that you need to. If you wanted to actually download their file, comment on it, you can re-upload the file and it'll be attached here for the students to see. Once you hit save, that feedback will then be available to students when they go into that assignment in their account, and they'll be able to see their score and any feedback that you gave. Hope this helps.